Mr. Bones.
What up, peeps? Mr. Bones back at you, and welcome back to Peep This Reviews. And what we're talking about is 1981's Graduation Day. Directed by Herb Fried and written by Anne Maurice, Herb Fried, and David Bond. Starring Linnea Quigley as Dolores, Vanna White as Doris, Ruth Ann Loren as Laura Ramstead, Patch McKenzie as Annie Ramstead, Danny Murphy as Kevin, and Christopher George as Coach George Michaels. The class of '81 is running out of time. After the death of a high school track star during a race, a mysterious fencing mask-wearing killer begins murdering her friends and teachers. Who could be the killer? Her disgruntled coach? Her angry sister? Her violent boyfriend? As the bodies pile up, a twisted mystery unfolds, slowly revealing itself as it moves towards its bloody climax. From vinegarsyndrome. I just noticed it says trauma. This is originally a trauma film, I guess. And this is like a early release for Vincent before they were doing the alternate art stuff. And down there is where you can see trauma. So this movie starts off with a track and field race, and you can see this girl pushing herself, and the coach is over there yelling, "Go, go, you're almost there, you can do it, just go on," whatever. And you can tell she's overexerting herself, and she just drops and dies. It was said later she had a blood clot, and yeah, her name was Laura, and this is the coach, George Michaels or something, and everybody hates him and they blame him for her death because he pushed her so hard, and he pushes all of his students. Then you meet Laura's sister, Anna, who is coming in from out of town. She's in the military. She comes in for the services and stuff. She's hitching a ride with this perv in a truck. He thinks it's okay to put his hands on her legs and stuff, and keeps running his hands up her legs, so she twists his wrist and grabs his nuts and tells him to keep his hands off her. And yeah, then she gets home, and her father's not very friendly either. He doesn't seem to like her very much, and starts to get in her face, says something about, "I should smack you, bitch," and she says, "I wouldn't try it. I've learned a few things in the military." And you've got a killer running around through here with a fencing mask, wears a fencing mask and a gray jogging suit, killing everyone from the track team for some reason. The killer ends up being Laura's boyfriend, Kevin, who's a bit loopy, and he blames the whole track team and the coach for Laura's death. And this movie friggin' has Vanna White in it. I didn't recognize her in the movie myself. Didn't realize it was her till I looked up the cast on IMDb. It has Vanna White as Doris and Linnea Quigley as Dolores. And the killer's going around killing all the track team. Crazy creative kills. He kills this football player with his own football by shoving the end of a fencing sword in it and throwing a spiral into his gut. And he kills this kid who's practicing his pole vault. I think that's what it's called, pole vaulting, where you throw the stick into the ground and flip up into the air and land onto a mat. And he had a bed of spikes waiting for him. He cuts off Linnea's head with a sword and gives this girl a poke of doom with a fencing sword through the front of her neck and out the back. Tell you what, this movie throws you for a loop at first, at least it did me. You got someone going around killing people in a gray jogging suit and black gloves. And when the sister first gets into town, they show her looking in her luggage, and she has a gray jogging suit and black gloves. So I at first think it's her trying to get revenge for her sister dying. And then at one point, the coach looks in his desk, and you see black gloves and a stopwatch. And the killer, every time he kills someone, he uses a stopwatch and times himself to do it within less than 30 seconds or something, because that's the amount of time between when Laura died. So it could be one of three people: the coach, the sister, or the boyfriend, like the back of the case says. But it ended up being the boyfriend, who at first seemed friendly and nice and not a nutcase, but it ended up being him. This was a first time viewing for me. I had never seen this. I'd like to give a shout out and a thanks again to Wes for sending this to me to review for you guys. And it has inventive kills, classic 80s movie feel to it. It's a pretty cool movie. It was a fun watch, and I'd highly recommend anyone who hasn't seen it to check it out. And that's what I watched. Peace.
My dick playing role games with my dick swing. I'll be Indiana Bones in the temple of Boom Tang.